If there's anything that people don't know about me, what would it be? Okay, hello everyone. So you have seen me here before, usually with my good friend Dr. Jim Hoven doing the Difference Makers podcast. And I really enjoy those times, although he and I do not get to do them enough. But something came up that I just told our team here just yesterday, Gabe and Danny, and then my two children, Gage and Emerson, just told them yesterday, I want to do a podcast. Or if this ends up being not even a podcast, but a video or just a recorded session that you listen to with my children. And let me tell you why. We get many requests into the firm where people want to hear more about my personal life. And that's fine. I'm an open book, and there's no more way to be an open book than to do this with your children, who I'm sure will tell the truth about some things that I may want to not have on this podcast. So that's why we're doing it this way. And I just told them all yesterday I didn't talk to them at home and discuss any topics or questions. So they walked in here to get blindsided by their dad, which they're pretty used to. Same with Gabe and Danny. I didn't tell them anything about what I want to talk about. I just wanted to come in and wing it. So before I go on for much longer, thanks for watching. I hope there's something here. And if you have any questions about anything you see here, please send them in, because I love to answer more questions based on this stuff. So why don't you guys start by introducing yourselves? We'll go ladies first. Emerson, introduce yourself to the audience and tell them who you are and what you do, where you go to school, and all those good things.
Hi guys, I'm Emerson Ramos. I'm a sophomore at the University of Arizona going into my junior year this year. I'm currently studying law with a minor in sports marketing, so that's pretty exciting. And I'm interning here on the marketing team to test out kind of that side of what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm super excited to be here this summer. I've done this before, but not quite as serious as it's getting as I'm getting older. So it's pretty fun, and yeah. Glad
to have you. Okay, Gage, you're up. Same thing.
Yeah, my name is Gage. I'm the middle child. I go to Arizona State, and I'm going into my senior year there studying entrepreneurship with a major in Spanish. And yeah, I'm here interning for the summer, working more on the business side of things. And yeah, I feel overwhelmed, but it's better than being bored. So I love love learning, love digging my feet into the work here. So yeah.
And the one child that's not here that Gage is the middle child, Emmy's the baby child. Their brother, Rafe Ramos, just graduated this year from Liberty University in Virginia, and he now is pursuing his master's degree in Divinity there, which we're very excited about. He just got accepted. Or I would have roped him in on this podcast as well, but he's in Virginia, and so he's not here. So that's the third one that is kind of gently mentioned there. So when we started, you mentioned that you're both interns, and you're interning here. What's it like to I'm not talking about your specific job duties. What's it like to intern at a business that your dad owns? Honestly, who's first?
I was just talking to someone about this, and yeah, for me it's more it impresses me, and I can't believe how many different parts of like the wheel are spinning at the same time, or like different parts of a gear that all make one wheel. So yeah, when I come in here, I'm like, I can't believe that, like all of this is happening, through my dad, which obviously, it's not like that, but it's impressive, and it is a weird feeling to see the name everywhere in your face everywhere. I can't seem to drive multiple hours anywhere anymore without seeing it staring at me. So
you always feel like your dad is watching you?
Yeah. Even on my drive to school, I was like 2 or 3 hours out of Arvada, and I passed like a Ramos Law, and my dad just like so yeah, it's interesting, but it's cool, and it makes it, every time I come in here, my respect for you grows too, because I'm just like, I can't believe that you can, I know where you start, but to get it to such a big operation is and to see it all in action is super cool. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. Kind of piggybacking off of that, I would say it's funny because a lot of people, when they hear, you're interning at your dad's law firm, it's like kind of like they push it off like it's not much. But I'd actually challenge that idea and say, like, actually it's probably the most pushed I've ever been in my life, because there's no one you don't want to there's what am I trying to say? There's no one that you don't want to disappoint as much as your dad. And so coming here, it's cool to contribute to your business because I feel like that's something not a lot of kids get to do. So that part's super fun. And also having the privilege of being able to test out multiple different things. Your law firm is huge. So there's the marketing, there's the medical records, there's the aviation. There's a lot of different sectors to this business, and it's crazy how it all comes together to make what it is now. We were there for the very first law firm, which was a lot smaller, a lot of the OGs were there. So yeah, it's fun to work in it now because you get to see what it became, and it kind of shows us, Gage just said his major is entrepreneurship, so it's cool to see where you come from and what you can become. So I feel like it's just been super fun to see it all come together. That's
cool. Okay, so tell me this, after, and granted, you still have the rest of the summer left to go here through this internship. And first, I will tell you guys that I absolutely don't want this to be, I have a job, because I'm a daddy's office type of a thing. And so I ask my staff to be harder on them. And I make very clear before they even come here that I expect that, because you guys know how my dad was. You know how he still is on me. And I don't, I'm not an easy dad, and I don't want them to have an easy road, and I want you guys to earn it. And so, as you've seen, you're held to a high degree of responsibility, and I'm glad, I'm happy that pushes you, and you guys understand that. Now, having been held to that degree of responsibility, and at this point in the internship, a month in, has this experience made you more or less likely to pursue a career in law? You go first this time.
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say it has encouraged me more to pursue one, but also I know that Ramos Law is a lot different. So what I would say encouraged me to, pursue law after this is because I realized how much of a community a law firm can be. I like how there's multiple pieces to the puzzle, and how here especially it seems like everyone collaborates in some sort of way. So I like that idea, and I like how it's so communal. But I do know that's not the case for all law firms, so that's actually a great question. But I would say I've realized how normal attorneys are, and they're really just average people that want to have fun and enjoy life too. So I feel like they've made it seem like less of a daunting task to me.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Gage, what about you? Has this made you more or less likely to have anything to do with law in your future?
Yeah, I would say more likely, just because I've kind of always thought about law in the sense of I'm not sure if I would want to be like a courtroom trial lawyer. But working here and seeing how, like Emmy said, all the different pieces of the puzzle come together, and how you don't really, a trial is just one part of law. And so it's encouraging to me because I can know that, I could go into law for something that really excites me and really I'm passionate about, and it doesn't have to be, the traditional, how I grew up thinking about law as, reading 400 books, which I'm sure, you have to do in law school anyway. But, you think of it one way and then you see it in action. And that's been encouraging to me, because I'm like, wow, there's like a lot of cool, interesting, kind of unique parts to it, like a lot more levels to it than I had originally ever expected. So yeah, I think it encourages me, because I'm like, I could definitely fit into a category of law.
Yeah. And that is one nice thing about law, right, is that people who finish law school and then they manage an HR department for a major corporation, or people who finish law school and they do some sort of sports management for a team, or trial lawyers, or represent just any field of any area. It's so expansive. It's one of the things I would say is a wonderful career there for me as compared to medicine, which you study all those years to be channeled into something very specific.
Right.
Which is certainly a difference. Now, Speaking of medicine and all that, one of the things I used to feel bad for both of you guys about when you were in high school was that it seemed like the first question that everybody would ask you guys when you were seniors are, what are you going to be when you grow up? Are you going to be a doctor? Are you going to be a lawyer? And I always felt bad because I don't know, maybe it's my bad daddy memories where you're always trying to please your dad and you're always trying to walk in dad's shadow kind of a thing. And people say these kind of things not really realizing what they're doing to you.
Yeah.
Did you guys experience that?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say I still experience it, honestly. I mean, when people hear doctor and lawyer, that's a pretty insane title to have. So I think people, even hearing, law major, they're like, oh, so law school. Like, And I'm like, well, actually I just really enjoy writing, and to me it's a more specific major than business nowadays. So, and if it leads to law school, great. But yeah, there's always that expectation of, so which one are you going to do? There's never really so what are you interested in? It's kind of, so which one, A or B? But I don't really mind it, honestly. I mean, it's kind of a compliment, honestly. If they're like law school or be a doctor, I'm like, you think I can do either? Great. So I don't really take it offensively, but I could see how it could get a little bit annoying. But yeah.
What about you, Gage?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like Emmy said, still happens, has happened, and probably will happen until I make my own way in the world. But yeah, I mean, it comes with a certain level of pressure, I would say. But I think for me, how I channel that whenever someone says doctor or lawyer is more of, what pursuit am I gonna undertake? And I don't necessarily think they're, people probably are guessing that I might go into law or go into medicine or whatever, just based on you. But kind of how I receive it is like, how am I going to be excellent, in my career field? So it doesn't put a whole lot of pressure on me, because you don't put that pressure on me. You put pressure on me to be good and great and pursue what I want to do and to do my best at it. But you've never raised us saying go to med school, go to law school, and all these things. So and that's kind of where it comes back to for me. Just people are like med school, law school, and for me, I'm like, sure, it could be probably not medicine at this point. I'm going into senior year of college, so would have had to start it on that a little bit sooner. But yeah, it could be law, or it could be. It's more so that I feel the pressure of doing something with myself, doing something admirable, respectable, and yeah.
Okay, I have to stop our podcast. We're not really stopping. We're still standing there, but to be dad for a minute. So when you do a podcast, you have to look at your guest, or you have to look at a camera. You are not allowed to look at the floor.
I'm thinking.
I haven't been looking at the floor.
It is guest or it is host. Okay, I'm done being dad now for a minute. Okay, back to the questions here. So, Gage, I'm starting with you this time so you get a chance to look at me or the camera. So we talked about you guys and that pressure with education and, people maybe, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer thing, blah, blah, blah. Have you told anybody about your brother who's going to get his master's in Divinity? And if you have, what's been their response? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I've told a lot of people that.
And he's going to listen, by the way, to what you say, so you better watch it. He's going to listen to this talk.
Yeah, I hope he does. And yeah, I mean, the reactions have been, it would be hard to react poorly to pursuing something as noble as divinity and wanting to go into missions. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say I've told anybody that and they've been like, oh, like he's not becoming a lawyer. Mm-hmm. And if anything, it's also a combination of people really don't know what seminary school is either. Right. And so explaining that to people, but once they get the idea and they get kind of the path that Rafe's going along, yes, it's not really ever something that they seem to disapprove of by any means. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys about something in a minute, but I want to hear what you first. Have you told anyone that your brother is pursuing his master's in divinity, and what's been the response?
I was chuckling to myself just now because I was going to say the U of A crowd isn't very familiar with the word divinity. So
Neither's ASU.
Yeah. So I first start by defining that for them. But just like Gage said, there's never really a negative reaction. I just think they're kind of confused because in our world it's pretty much business, communications, or like medicine. So I think it's just a rare path to take, but I don't think anyone's questioning it. I just think we're all like kind of waiting to see what it is. I don't really know what that means for him either, but kind of just excited to see where it goes.
So here's what's funny. I didn't tell you guys this, but I told one of my very close friends the other day, so my son just graduated from Liberty and he's really excited. I'm so proud of him. And, being the oldest and setting that path for you guys to be the oldest to graduate from college. We come from a family where of my 8 siblings, I think only 2 of us graduated from college, if I remember correctly. I think we have as many felonies in the family as we have college graduates. And then of my dad's 12, my dad is the youngest of 12. and I don't think any of them went to college. Trying to think. I mean, they may have attended briefly, but I don't think any of them had a formal degree that they worked that I can recall. But in any case, so I'm really proud. I'm really proud that I have a son who's graduated from college, because it's a legacy, and I have 2 more in college, right? This could be like, I mean, as a dad, right? Like, I'm so proud of you guys for just going to school. And so I was telling a friend this, hey, my oldest son just graduated from Liberty. I'm so proud of him. And he's, oh, what's he going to do? I said, oh, he's going to get his master's in Divinity. And, it's a kind of a seminary like thing. And he's like, he looks at me, he goes, is he religious?
Sounds about right.
And I said, hold on a minute. And I would tell you that I think that's one of the things that probably people, all of our close family friends know this. They know we have a faith-based household. And the principles of this business are based on my faith. And a lot of people don't even realize, our employees do, but a lot of other people don't. And so I thought that was a really funny response.
Yeah. I get that a lot too. Like, what does that even mean? Does he want to be a pastor?
Yeah.
Just like every response. And I'm just like, dude, I don't exactly, like Emmy said, I don't know where the path leads right now, but to ask if he's religious, I think you could conclude that much.
He loves God, and so do I, and that doesn't make me religious.
Yeah, no, they've asked if he's Mormon, because I said he was interested in going on a mission. Like, no, Christians go on missions too.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so let's move on here. In your college experience so far, sophomore, junior, right? Going to be junior, senior.
Yep.
I should know that. What has been the most challenging part? What's the thing you didn't expect? And actually, let's back up for a minute. So all of my kids, again, we say we're doing this for personal reasons, so you guys could get to know me better, know my family better. All of my kids went to faith-based high schools, Christian high schools, Faith Christian Academy, predominantly, and Valor Christian. And then at the very end, Emmy did a very persuasive oral argument to me in her senior year, convinced me when I didn't think she would ever convince me. And we allowed her to go to Ralston Valley to finish. But for the most part, they were in faith-based schools for their entire lives. And then you guys went away and you went to ASU and U of A. And so give me what the most surprising thing was about college, and then give me what the hardest thing has been about college.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would say one of the challenging parts that you kind of come to realize over time is after you get out of like a Christian institution and, being around you guys and just a bunch of Christian people, you get planted into a campus in Arizona full of 50,000 kids and all of a sudden there's, all these things coming at you, all this, and it really challenged me to make my faith my own, which, to be honest, I don't think I, did a phenomenal job of it my freshman year, to say the least. But as I've kind of grown through college and matured a little, it's always continually occurred to me of like, going to church and, praying and reading my Bible. And that's something that no one, some people around me, like I'll have a friend who I go to church with or someone who sends me verses. Mm-hmm. But largely it's on me to make that my own. And there's no, it's not mom and dad, let's go to church on Sunday. It's like I'm going to church by myself or one other person. Mm-hmm. So that's been one of the challenges, I guess, is making my faith my own, figuring out my own patterns of discipline. Because
that's tough.
When you're living at the house, discipline is kind of set for you. You have 3 or 4 hours that you can do whatever you want, but there's always dinner served. There's always a very set routine in the house, and so when you get out of the house and you go out on your own, I used to work out in high school partially to work out, but partially also just to get out of the house and have a little bit of independence, Mm-hmm. And so going into college, I really had to start creating good habits for myself. And so, just kind of a mix of those. Probably what was most surprising to me about college was all the different, there's a lot of different worldviews and people see the world a lot differently than you do, mm-hmm. especially when you grow up in a Christian community, in a Christian school. I'm not an idiot. I didn't go out to expect ASU to be, a bunch of Bible thumping Christians, but it is, it is surprising and unique to hear about, people's dads and how their dads were and how they grew up and how they see the world. And it's interesting, you can kind of trace back someone's, worldview through a lot of different things about their life. So
that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool that you got that broad experience of seeing that. Same exact thing happened to me. Same exact feeling. Okay, Emerson, those two for you. What are your answers?
So I would say, as far as challenge, I would say it's crazy how big the campus is, and it's on you to make yourself stand out within that huge crowd. So what I mean by that is, again, I'm in Greek life, so I'm in a sorority, as a lot of you probably know. And if you're in Greek life, you're basically copy and paste, except for you have a different title next to your name. So even in a community that's slightly smaller than the whole campus, you really have to find your niche, and you have to work for your brand, and you have to decide what you want your brand to be. So, in other words, it's been really interesting trying to decide who I want to be, find people that reflect that, and live a life that makes me proud of who I am there. But what surprises me the most is how many opportunities there are when you do that. So, for example, I ran for exec, and now that introduced me to a whole different crowd and connects me to a whole bunch of other people that are pursuing leadership in the other chapters. On top of that, recently found out about a pre-law Greek life fraternity, technically, that is just now starting up this year. So I'm emailing them saying, hey, how do I get involved in this? You have to market yourself, and you have to do your own work in order to stand yourself apart, or else you're just going to graduate, with just your diploma and maybe a couple friends that will last until your 30s. And, so it's interesting. Lonely then, right? Yeah, it's just interesting how much work you have to put in to get yourself out there in such a big crowd. But at the same time, it's so rewarding, because if you can do it there, you can do it anywhere. So meeting people at Arizona has really taught me how to meet people even in a smaller community like Ramos Law here. It's just easier. It helps the people skills, and it's been really beneficial.
Oh, that's good. Okay, did that cover the most surprising and the most challenging?
Yeah, it's both.
Okay, both. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, so let's cover a personal thing here. So, and you guys can be dead honest. Okay, what is the thing that your mom does for you that is the most special? Gage, you go first. What's something she does that's just? I'll go first.
Okay.
So my mom knows that I love fresh tortillas. And she knows I love cinnamon sticks. And cinnamon sticks are like a pie dough, or pie crust, that's rolled out, and it's sprinkled with sugar and cinnamon, and then it's baked, and it gets all fluffy, and I love them. I love fresh tortillas because, the minute she's getting them off, they're still hot. She's trying to make her stack big, and I'm grabbing them as quick as she can make them on the stack and putting butter on them, and I'm starting to salivate just thinking about it. And you guys have experienced both from your grandma?
Yes.
Oh, now she's going to watch this. Hi, Mom. I'll say hi to my mom. And she always made me feel special. Like the things that stands out to me that always made me feel special was she always remembered, whether it was my birthday or whether it was my graduation or something, that was going to be an event, that she did one of my two special things. Always, right? You do that for me now. Emerson makes sure. So I love German chocolate cake. I know I like all this food stuff. Gosh. Anyway, I love German chocolate cake. And so Emerson started in high school, or maybe even earlier, I don't know, maybe with her mom at first, and she just kind of took over the duty of baking me German chocolate cakes for every special event that happens. So with Father's Day that just passed, guess what I got? German chocolate cake. And I love that. And so those are the type of things that your family members can do that make you feel special. So with that preface, what does Mom do that makes you feel special, Gage?
Yeah, Mom has always been, growing up, like my biggest cheerleader. Like people would always say at games, Gage, is that your mom? And I'm like, yeah, because my mom will scream and yell, and it'll be heard football fields over, not just the one field. So
yes,
she could rally the whole team instantly. Come on, boys, like pick it up. And so I know her being my cheerleader has always made me feel kind of special and loved, that she cares enough to show up and then not only show up but be yelling at me to pick it up or do better, or even words of encouragement. And not only that, but Mom is just like so she I don't know what the right word is, but she really caters. I don't want to make it sound like she just does everything for us, because she doesn't. But she really, in the ways she can help, she loves to help, which always makes me feel special as her son. And she kind of the same thing that your mom would do. Like, mom knows the things that I love, which are many things regarding food. And because I think the elf gene was passed down from him to me. So
that's for sure.
Yeah. So mom knows, like, every time there's cookies, mom makes 3 or 4 cookies without chocolate chips, because she knows I like them without chocolate chips too. I like the chocolate chips too, but I like it without too. So she'll set aside, here's these 4 for you, Gage. These have no chocolate chips. I'm like, oh wow, thank you, Mom. You remember it.
That's cool.
She makes pasties. That's it's like a breaded thing with meat and potatoes and onions and a bunch of stuff in it. And she knows I love those. So I think when I got back from studying abroad, that was like the first meal I had. Whenever I go to school, she'll make a bunch the night before and send them with me. So mom does a lot that just you can tell her attention to detail and her love as a mother, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, Emerson, what does mom do for you especially?
Kind of piggybacking off of that, because mom does all those little things all the time, honestly. It's gotten normalized in our brains because she does it so often. But I would say overall, just showing up for things. She's always the first to cancel plans to show up. She's canceled girls' trips for, mom's weekend. And I'm like, Mom, you can come down any weekend. I won't be offended. And she's like, no, I need to show up for your mom's weekend. So it's stuff like that where she always puts her kids first, and sometimes at a fault where she kind of needs to prioritize herself some more sometimes. But I appreciate that part of her and how she's always there. I don't think she ever missed a dance competition once, which as I've grown up, that's so hard to do. Like, even doing this internship, I'm already not making it to plans that are 2 hours long because I'm too tired. But moms don't get tired, so it's just super impressive that she does that. As well as, like Gage said, always being the loudest cheerleader. My mom does not get embarrassed. You guys know that.
No embarrassment.
No embarrassment. So the way she's raised us has actually been super cool to not be embarrassed. You guys have both raised, pretty confident kids. So I feel like it's just because of the example you guys have given and the love that you guys have shown us. So, yeah.
And I actually want to add one more thing. Emmy said she was always present, and Mom was telling this story the other day, how my lovely dad here.
I know what you're going to say.
There was the Super Bowl in New Orleans, and he happened to have tickets for it. And
we had tickets. Mom.
Yeah, my mother and my dad had tickets, and my dad was like, "Yo, I'm going to this thing." And Dad, I don't hate you at all for going. I would have done the same thing, I think. But Mom was like, "No, use my ticket for someone else. I'm gonna stay back because I had a spelling bee." So Mom made sure that she went with me to the spelling bee of all things, right, for the New Orleans Super Bowl, which sounds awesome.
Yeah.
But she went to my spelling bee. She had my packet of words I needed to study. And, we sat in the car and studied for the 30 minutes before, and then I went in for a spelling bee. But, yeah, just to add on to that, how even for she's so present and will cancel anything just to support the people she loves, which is super honorable.
Yeah, that's so true. We still joke about that to this day because I went to the Super Bowl and had a blow up 4 weekends, and she stayed back and went to his spelling bee, and now she tells all of her friends he doesn't even remember that she was there. It's funny. But no, that is a perfect example of how she is. That is so true. Okay, so couple rapid fire questions, break up this a little bit. Which of our family members is the worst morning person? Go first.
Oh, I thought you were just accusing me.
No.
I would have to say it's between Emerson and Emerson.
You're saying Emerson. Okay, who are you saying?
Dad. I'm just kidding. Not my dad. No, he whistles when he wakes up. Probably, I would say Mom, easily.
I was going to say between Emerson and Mom.
Or what about Rafe? I can't believe you guys didn't name Rafe.
We haven't seen him in the morning in a while.
Yeah.
Last time I saw Rafe in the morning, I said good morning, he snarled.
Yeah. Actually, Rafe, if he's on the wrong side.
The reason I think I'm a decent morning person is because I'm never, I might not be happy to be up that early, but I'm never mad. I'm usually pretty happy. And so I might not be the the greatest at being up every day at 6 o'clock, but once I am up, I think I'm a pretty manageable person. So I will have to say, give it to Rafe, Mom, and Emmy.
Okay, you and I get the pass on that one. Okay. What about who in our family has the biggest sweet tooth?
You.
Gage.
Me.
Well, you just learned to control your sweet tooth. Gage hasn't reached that age yet, so sure, we'll give it to Gage.
I almost ate an entire apple pie.
And Rafe didn't get that at all, it doesn't seem like.
No. I didn't either. I'd rather have French fries than cake.
All right. Which one of our family members, no, that's too easy of a question, sleeps the least?
Oh my God. He just wanted to hype himself up.
He has the Buddy the Elf appetite at times, and sometimes the sleep schedule of Buddy the Elf. Buddy the Elf can sleep a full 45 minutes and feel rested. I'm convinced you guys share genetics or something.
Yes.
That's what okay, who sleeps the most in the family?
Rafe.
Oh, hold on a minute.
Well, not lately. Don't look at me. Dad, you've been gone.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Emerson?
I very much deny that, guys, for the record. In college, I woke up at 9 a.m. every day. Actually, 8:30. And so, for some reason, my bed at home is really comfortable, and I've been sleeping in a little.
Rafe, I wish you were here to break this tie on the vote, because I know you would vote for Emmy. I know you would vote for her.
Rafe, I know you're watching out there.
Okay, if you could pick anything to do tomorrow, completely free day, pick anything to do, what would you do? Emmy, you're first.
Wow, that's a big question.
I know it's tough. There's a lot of things coming to mind, but you can only pick one.
Wow, that's a really big question.
And I'm not talking like, go like on foreign trips or, that kind of. I'm not
within
talking
our
about, within like immediately, like tomorrow here, if you could do anything, what would you do?
Can we go to Gage first?
Yeah.
All right, punch
I
to Gage.
already had a good couple ideas.
What is it?
I would definitely want to be outside. I would probably want to go catch some big largie at some point. Maybe go to my secret spot, which I will never reveal to anybody. And maybe slay a couple smallmouth there. I actually just caught a big one the other day, about 5 pounds.
Giant.
Yeah.
It was a big one.
Yeah, it was a pig. And then I'm sure it would involve maybe a little bit of golf. I've been trying to get good at that sport, which is, I think, a lifelong endeavor. Mm-hmm. But I've been playing it as if I want to go pro. So I'd probably do a little bit of golfing. How would I finish my day? I would do fishing. I would go golfing. Maybe I'd go work out, get a little pump, feel good about myself. Yeah, that's just a couple of the first things that came to mind.
All right, that'd be a good day for you. Emmy, what would be a good day for you? Anything you could do tomorrow?
I've also been trying to get into golf. I'm not good yet, but I will be one day. So I would probably start by golfing or hitting at the driving range. I would like to swim because I haven't swam at all this summer. So that'd be really nice. And probably bake or cook something. I want to get better at cooking, so I feel like that'd be something I would like to tackle, but I need more time. When I get home from work, I'm too tired, so.
And also eat Taco Bell.
Gage! I haven't had Taco Bell for 2 weeks today, everyone, so.
He's actually on a Taco Bell cleanse.
No, but anyways, so, yeah, I've been working on eating cleaner. Working out. I want to go on a run, like, in a very nice neighborhood or a very pretty trail. That'd be fun. I've been running lately, so.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, if there's anything that, this is a dangerous question, but I'll ask it. And you have to be honest, because I don't care what you say. This is to be honest. If there's anything that people don't know about me, that you guys know about me, because you grew up with me. If there's anything that people don't know about me, and I know there are a lot of things, but you only give one. Who wants to go first? What would it be?
I actually have a good one on this.
Okay.
And this is, it's pretty funny. And to everybody and to myself too, you are, a very smart person. You've gone to 2 school, medical school, law school, become a pilot, all this stuff. And so even in my eyes and the eyes of a lot of people, it's like this podium of intelligence that you can almost never achieve. But I know because I grew up with you. You also have a monkey side of your brain that can't find how to, turn off notifications and settings or do a series of other things. So I think a lot of people see you as an invincible sort of knowledge. And I'm like, I can name a couple things that he's not quite sure of. So.
Oh, I asked this question. I deserve this. Okay, that is very true.
That's a good one. That was a really good one.
All right. What's something nobody knows about me, Emerson?
I would say how redneck you are, honestly. I don't think people understand like just how redneck you are. Like if there was a choice between a Palms Beach trip and going goat hunting with just a backpack and being in the same underwear for 4 days, you have picked that before. So in that sense, I don't think people like or know that like how down to earth you are in like the best way though is like you just get joy out of the simple things in life, and I don't think that'll ever change. So I feel like that's a good thing that people don't know about, or they should know that about.
You can tell that sometimes in the comments. We get comments a lot where people comment on website things or blog things or media posts or social media, and many times I get these comments where they put me like the city boy kind of a thing, and I don't think they know that I'm wearing my same tennis shoes from 7 or 8 years ago because it's just who I am, and it's like,
and that's not a joke. Maybe older, like 10
that's
years,
a good
15 years ago.
Yeah, he's also a junk collector. If we get a free eye mask on a plane, we're keeping that. If we get a free tissue box, we're keeping that. So no waste.
Oh, no waste. Yep. So yeah, I think people I agree. I think people perceive me wrong a lot. Okay, now you guys we're almost done here. Let me see how much time we have. We're a little bit over what I was going to shoot for. We're at 36 minutes. We're going to go to 4 minutes. So you guys each ask me a question.
Emerson?
I ask this to a lot of people in life, but I was wondering what your biggest regret in life is.
My biggest regret in life. So first of all, I don't have many regrets, and I don't say that in a bad way. But the reason I don't have many regrets is and you guys know this because I've taught both of you guys this, I don't look back very often. I just don't look back. Things happen, life happens, we make bad decisions, everybody does, and I don't look back. So I don't beat up on myself a lot because I don't look back. I just look ahead. What's the next blessing ahead of me? What's the next joyous thing ahead of me? Because of that, I don't have many regrets. But if I had to say one, I would say that I was probably a little late in establishing my Christian foundation. Probably not until, senior in high school or something like that. And I think that I wish I had been exposed earlier on to the foundational beliefs of Christianity, because I think I would have surrounded myself with more friends that were like that, and I think that would have been a stronger foundation for me. One of my dear friends, Roy Johnson, who was actually my friend first buddy I was sitting around, we were like, 17, 18 years old, and he was reading the Bible. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm reading the Bible. I probably said something to him like, what, are you religious or something? And he just kind of started sharing with me a little bit. And then it kind of, okay, whatever. It kind of made me think, and I got a little curious, right? And Roy unfortunately passed away during COVID. 46 years old, he died, I think. But all that being said, he inspired that belief in me, and we ended up being very, very dear friends. We played on the basketball team as the joint guards. In track and field, we both pole vaulted, and we were a very good influence on each other. But it happened late, and I wish that's maybe one regret. The other regret that I have, I would say, is it's really tough to balance when, because I went to undergraduate and then had to work hard to get good enough grades to get into medical school, and then went to medical school and had to work really hard to get a good residency, and then went to residency and had to work really hard to get a good job, and then started working really hard to make it up in that job, and then went to law school. And so I was always on the go, as you guys know. And I don't think I was as good at work-life balance throughout all of that as I probably would if I had it to do again. And the reason is that I'm better now at what I've also tried to teach you guys based on my lessons, which is saying no. I'm better now at saying no. I still say yes a lot, but I'm better at saying no. I was terrible at saying no. And so if somebody had a ship they needed covered, I'd cover it. if, whatever. And that worsened my work-life balance because the inability to say no. And those would probably be 2 regrets.
Okay. Well, my question, I don't even know if I already know how you think about this, but I kind of wanted to flip your question of what it's like for us working at your firm to what is it like having your 2 kids, from the kids to the father to the kids, like, how do you, I feel like I could guess kind of how you might think about this. And that's why I think it might not be that crazy of a question or explanation, but I just wanted to get your 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. So I've always had very high expectations of my kids to just be good people. And that's my highest expectation. You have to be good people. And beyond that, I'm happy. And you guys have heard that from me. And I know that you're good people, and I know how you are because I have got to see, learn, and help develop your values over time. But you always fear when you bring your kids into your business, and if you pull up in a nicer car than an employee has, or you show up late and they don't show up late, or if you're maybe not as productive and they're very productive, or whatever. As a dad, having your kids in your business is a lot of pressure because I'm proud of you, but I'm proud of you because you're good people and you're my kids. And so I'll be proud of whatever you do here. But I always fear that your behaviors, if not 110%, if you're not the absolute best, that'll reflect on me. Because see, what happens in life is, and it's okay, this is not negative, but it's just how life is. I always describe it like a bucket of crabs. If one crab is getting out of the bucket, he would probably get out and escape, but other crabs grab them and they pull them back in. And the person can never escape. No crabs like push the guy out and give him help. And the analogy I'm using here is this. In life, people are very easy to be critical before they are to be complimentary. And it's much easier to say, the boss's kids or whatever. So I don't want it to be easier on you guys. I want you guys to be double responsible. I want you to be double timely. I want you to be, because I have a fear that there's already this biased perception and I don't want to enforce it. So as a father, that's your worst, and with your kids, when they come to your business to an internship, it's really concerning that I know who they are and they're great people, but I'm afraid they will be perceived because of one little slip up, because there's already a bias to suggest that you're some other way. So that's the biggest concern for me. That's very hard for me. That's probably why I'm harder on you guys, and that's probably why I told your direct supervisors. They don't report to me in this business. They have their own direct supervisors. But I told them that I expect excellence. And one of our core values in the firm is excellence. And another one of our core values in the firm is having fun. You guys mentioned having fun earlier and the camaraderie we have here. But I expect excellence out of you guys, and not anything less of that. More so here because I have pressure that you have to be excellent.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
We're going to take questions from the audience now. We have an audience here live in studio. We have Danny and Gabe who are filming this and keeping us hopefully looking good, right? Okay. So you guys have any questions, you can shout them from the back, and I'll reiterate the questions of either Gage or Emmy or myself. Yeah, so Gabe's question was, he asked Emmy and Gage when they became aware or how it felt when maybe there was some sort of celebrity status associated with me, or when it became more well-known, I started getting invited to different things, or you saw people stopping me in places and talking to me. When did that occur and how did it make you feel?
Yeah, I would say it wasn't a specific moment. It's kind of been a snowball effect the whole time, just gradually, with your outreach and kind of slowly becoming more of a figure within the community. But it was definitely, I want to say, in high school, early on, and maybe throughout high school, where I was really we'll be on the most random place. One story we like to say is that we were on a vacation. And we were all the way in Belize, and we were in a van with a bunch of other people. And a guy turns around and looks at him, and he's like, "Aren't you that doctor lawyer?" And and so that was definitely a moment for me where I was like, "Holy cow!" You just cannot escape it sometimes. But it comes with, as far as how I feel about it, it just comes with the responsibility for myself to represent well. And it also comes with how I feel about you being a figure is more aside from the responsibility and how I represent myself and my name. I've kind of just realized how I had a good train of thought there. But I kind of just realized how how you were when we leveled, we would move into a different office and we kind of take another step, and then slowly it became billboards or a commercial or something. And so I was like, wow, this is like surreal. Like I can't believe that you could make it to that I'm looking at my dad on my drive to school and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's surreal. It kind of makes me shrink back a little sometimes, because with your popularity comes opinions about you or about your kids or whatever.
Yes.
And so I would say that part of it is it makes you kind of walk on eggshells a little bit, because you don't know what those people are already assuming about you. You don't know what they do or don't know about you. And sometimes, you question, and I'm not going to act like I have this problem, but you question, people's intentions in talking to you or wanting to hang out with you. I remember at least one time in high school, people who I didn't really know that well, it was like, Gage, can we all come over to your house and we all want to go swim and we all want to... I'm like, no, I don't know you. I don't know you that well. I've never had you to my house, nonetheless 10 of your other friends.
Yeah.
And so
but all of a sudden they're your friend.
Yeah. And so I would say that's kind of all the moving parts within it. But it's been cool.
Yeah, good answer. Emerson?
It's funny because kind of what Gage was saying, it's been a snowball effect. So I think the other day we were touring the Rapids Stadium, and Ian was like, how do you feel about your dad's face being right there? And I was like, I guess I've never really thought that much about it, honestly. So me and Gage are our whole family, I feel like, is pretty desensitized to the fact that our dad's head is just floating all over the state. But yeah, I mean, I guess when I noticed it was just by people's reactions, like the way they react to, oh my gosh, like I saw your dad's car. Like I get probably 10 texts a week about, seeing a Ramos Law car or a picture of a billboard or, anything. I get everything. So I think by people's reactions, I'm like, oh wow, I guess that is like kind of odd, like that my dad's face is there. But in the same way, I feel like it's pretty normalized to us. And you've never really taught us like the whole culture of celebrities. So like even though we kind of get a good laugh about someone recognizing you at a Broncos game, obviously it never really goes much further than that. So
yeah, and that kind of goes back to that probably the redneck comment you made earlier. If you got to know me, because we do get these comments that come in on the website and stuff, say I have a big ego because I'm saying I'm a doctor and a lawyer. I say I'm a doctor and a lawyer because it's unique and because, hey, I am, and I earned that, and it is unique, and it does help our cases and it helps our clients. And the culture of medicine and helping and caring about others first is infused into our business, which is now this law firm. And so, yeah, I advertise that, but it's not because I have a big ego. I think when people get to know me or know the real me, at least I hope, anyway, I hope I'm not fooling myself, I'm just like everybody else. I say dumb things, I do dumb things, I have fun, I kick it up with everybody. I love all of our employees the same, and I don't care if you're Marielle, our janitor, who's been with us forever. She left another business and came here with us, to whoever some attorney is. It doesn't matter to me. I just love them all, and we don't hire here based on what school you go to. I know some people want to pride themselves. I graduated from Berkeley or Harvard. Or I went to this or that. That's all good. Good for them, man. I'm proud of them. But we look for good people. We look for good people with good hearts in the right spot. And I only say all of that because I think that plays back to who I am or what my ego is. I want to be a good person. And if being a good person is having a big ego, then I have a big ego. That's my goal. I want to be a good person. I want to, again, it goes back to my faith-based thing. I have a much larger Father that I want to make proud. And that's basically what it is. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so Danny asked, when I first started putting myself out there in these ads, how did it feel? Was there any pressure? Maybe what did we go through in that process? And Danny, the answer to that is this. So when I first got into law, we didn't advertise at all for a couple of years, at all, about me or doctor, lawyer, or any of that stuff. And time again, Danny, people would come in and we'd end up finishing their case up and they'd say, oh, I wish I knew about you 6 months ago. My aunt was hurt or this or that, because they had a good experience. And they did experience the difference in our culture and in the underlying knowledge of medicine and law and in the foundation we were building. And they truly, you could tell they genuinely wished that they knew about us so they could send their family in. And this happened over and over and over and over for a couple of years. And we really did not want to go public like this with this advertising thing. It's just not us. And and why do I say it's not us? It's not us because most of the ads that are public are, I got somebody this much money. I can get this done fast for you, your case done. It seems, attorneys have earned this reputation of ambulance chasing. And I didn't want to join that. I didn't want to be that. I want to, I care. And the only attorneys that were on, that were saying I care, the only ones that were saying that were the ones that were saying, they got these core values or those core values. And to me, that seemed a little bit generic. And so I said, I didn't want to go on and be generic, and I didn't want to go on and be fake and talk about money. And therefore, we were not going to do it. But after a lot of thought and a lot of prayer and a lot of these episodes of people saying, I wish we'd known about you, we decided to do it. So then when we decided to do it, fortunately, I married a beautiful lady who has a degree in advertising and marketing. And my wife, Paige, took, for example, New York hotel in Las Vegas. When it was sagebrush and they were bringing that thing up from the ground, they hired her to come in as part of their promotions and advertising stuff. So I had very wise counsel and a Christian wife with an advertising and marketing background who said, okay, if we're going to do this publicly, if we decided that this is what we're going to do so we can help more people, then we're going to do it in a classy way. And thank God for that, because she then helped develop a brand that expresses who we are, which is we do want to really help people and genuinely want to help people make the world a better place. And I actually want to make attorneys better. I want people to look at attorneys like, thank God they're attorneys, not, hey, those ambulance chasing snakes. And I'm on a mission to make our profession be looked at where attorneys aren't the brunt of all jokes. And so that was the initial challenge we went through and stuff. And then how it felt to me personally in being on TV or being on the billboards. Honestly, I didn't really ever notice it. Like the commercials come on now, we'll be in the house talking, and a TV commercial comes on, and sometimes we'll look to see which commercial it is because we hear my voice. It sounds like there's two of me in the room talking. But I never really, I don't think a whole lot of it. I just, I don't know, probably like the kids at first, the first time you sense it seems a little bit weird to see yourself, but then pretty quick it's like, yeah, whatever. It's part of the business, part of thankfully how we've incorporated it in the particular way. And I hope our messaging reflects what we are, our values as a family, and not just a Ramos family as the three of us have with the last name, but as a Ramos Law family, which you guys in here are part of.